Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we have a couple of tidbits to talk about, so no more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So we begin with Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, which was revealed to us a couple of days ago. Well now guys, we have a release date, or rather, a release window. This comes to us thanks to insider Jeff Grubb, who was also the one that revealed the title of the game. So on Twitter he confirmed the game is going to be released in February or March of 2023, so in the first half of next year. Recently, EA themselves revealed that they plan on releasing 4 currently unannounced video games in addition to their annual releases by the end of March of 2023. Those projects are a major IP, a partner title, a remake, and a sports title. Though Respawn and EA revealed that they're working on a sequel to Fallen Order, the game has not been formally announced, leading fans to speculate that the partner title could be Star Wars Jedi Survivor due to the partnership with Lucasfilm. However, others have theorized it could be a new title, but now with Grubb's claims, it seems very likely the partner title is indeed the Fallen Order sequel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and as I said, it is poised for an early 2023 release date. Now the game releasing in 2023 just adds to what's going to be a huge year for Star Wars. Apart from the gaming side of things, we're also getting the Acolyte, Star Wars Ahsoka, and/or Season 2, and if it's still on schedule, then Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron in December, but there is major doubt about that release. I've covered this in the past, but things are not looking good on that front. Now typically in the past, EA have launched their latest Star Wars title a month in advance of a big Star Wars live-action release. For example, the Battlefront reboot launched in November of 2015, 1 month ahead of The Force Awakens. Battlefront 2 released in November of 2017, ahead of The Last Jedi, and Fallen Order came out before The Rise of Skywalker. And the most recent example is Star Wars Squadrons, which released merely weeks away from the second season of The Mandalorian. So based on all of this, maybe the release window of Jedi Survivor could lend some insight as to when we might expect a live-action Star Wars project in early 2023, and in my opinion, the most likely is the Ahsoka series, considering filming just began and is well on track for a release date sometime in early 2023. So great stuff there. And speaking of the Ahsoka show, my dear friends, that's our next topic, because we do have a short clip of Rosario Dawson on set wishing Homer Simpson a happy birthday in a Marge Simpson voice.
Happy birthday, Homer.
Now the reason this has been circulating online is because it's curious just how zoomed in she is, almost like she's concealing something about her outfit or maybe her Lekku. This has led some fans to think that maybe for the Ahsoka show, her Lekku are going to be longer than what we saw in The Mandalorian, and more akin to what they were like in Rebels. In the Book of Boba Fett, of course, they were a tad longer than The Mandalorian Season 2, with one extra stripe, but for her own series, they might have gone a step further. Now while it might be trivial to some, I can definitely imagine Dave Filoni being very pedantic about every detail for this series. It's a show he's been planning for the best part of a decade and a half. Every single chapter of Ahsoka's story from the Clone Wars and Rebels has been leading to this, so if he decided to improve on her look, I imagine it's something Rosario would have to keep a secret, so that's why she's so zoomed in. Other than that, there's not too much to speak about with this clip, but it's great to know that production has officially begun, and this was confirmed to us the other day by Lucasfilm. And so now, my dear friends, it's time to talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. As we know from the leaks and also the trailers, Obi-Wan is leaving Tatooine. He's going to go to Daiyu, then the planet of Jabim, and maybe even Alderaan. But now guys, Deborah Chow herself has opened up about just how much Tatooine we're going to see in this show. And thank the maker, it's not very much. In her own words she said, "We do start on Tatooine, but then we leave it. I really wanted to get off Tatooine." She continued by saying, "Visually and also just for Star Wars, I've always loved that you get to go off to different planets and you get something different and new. You get to go to new worlds and galaxies. The fact that we had such a legacy-heavy story, we needed something new to balance it out, so it didn't just feel the same." And for me, just to read this from the director herself is a chef's kiss. I don't know about you guys, but I'm bloody sick of this desert planet. Don't get me wrong, I love it for its legacy in the Star Wars franchise, but we've been there so often in recent times, not only in The Mandalorian's first 2 seasons, but also the entirety of the Book of Boba Fett. So when it was announced that the Kenobi show was slated to be the next Star Wars release, the next live-action show, a part of me really hoped we weren't just going to dwell on the same scenery once again. The capacity of the volume is so much better than that, show us new worlds and take us on some fresh adventures, which thankfully the Kenobi show is going to do. We're going to see Fortress, Inquisitorius, shows in live action on the moon of Nur. As I said, we're going to Daiyu and Jabim, but there's also the possibility of Mustafar, Alderaan and other planets too, all polished off in the volume with all the capabilities of 2022 level technology. So I'm really excited for that. Introduced near the beginning of Star Wars A New Hope in 1977, Tatooine is one of the most iconic and memorable locations in the entirety of the saga. Apart from being where the story of Luke Skywalker began, Tatooine has been a staple throughout the Skywalker saga and the Disney Plus shows. But it is time to explore the galaxy a bit, and Deborah Chow notes in her own words, quote, "Obi-Wan is going on a new journey. There are going to be different people coming into his life, and one of the things I was trying to do with this series was to have the legacy and who specifically is important in Obi-Wan's life, but that's also going to mean some new locations too, or maybe even locations we've seen in the animated shows but not in live action." We're now just 13 days away from the premiere of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and as we know guys, it's going to be 2 episodes on day 1. Super exciting stuff. And finally, my dear friends, a tidbit by Hayden Christensen, reiterating something we've heard him say in the past. He's basically teased that a big portion of this show, notably the lightsaber duels, are heavily inspired by the prequel style. And he wants to remind fans that there's only been 10 years between Revenge of the Sith and this series. So while Anakin is now Vader and Obi-Wan's a bit older, their fighting styles are going to be very similar, very fast-paced and very intense. So speaking with Total Film via Naboo News, Hayden Christensen affirms that Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber fights are going to be the same in form as the prequels, and not the same style that we see later on in A New Hope. In his own words, he said, "We are more in line with the prequels than we are with how fights are in the original trilogy. These characters have aged, but not that much yet." He went on to recount that one of his favourite memories from the prequels was working with George. He says the experience of making the prequels was phenomenal. I mean, getting to work with George Lucas and getting to play this character. I could not have dreamed it up any better, and I didn't want it to end. It was a sad thing when it concluded. At the time, I thought that was that. I thought George had told his story and my journey with the character was complete. After all these years, to get to come back and to continue my journey is extremely meaningful to me. And the amount of work, the amount of physical work that Ewan and Hayden put into this show is monumental. And we're now just less than 2 weeks away from seeing that on screen. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you make of this comment by Hayden Christensen and everything that was covered in today's news update? If you enjoyed it, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and a massive welcome if you are, and I will see you in the next video. May the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.